This video is to show you how to use CloudExtend when uploading item fulfillments with serial or lot numbers. All right, so I want to start things off by showing you an item fulfillment template. And if you're going to be brand new, you can either select search and download or create new. When you select either one of those options, it's going to ask you to select a record type. So in this case, it's the item fulfillment. The second step is to select the fields that you want to associate it to this template. And then the last step is to load the template onto the worksheet. So for demo purposes, I already have a template created. So I'm going to start with a template by switching this on. And once I switch this on, I'm going to select create new record with a template. And it brings me to my list of templates. So I'm going to select the item fulfillment template and edit. So once I edit, it's going to expose the fields that I've already selected. So if I scroll through this, you're going to see some of the fields already checked off. But for you, when you are creating a brand new template, you want to select the fields that you want to associate onto the template. And once you select it, you can click on add fields. And as you can see, I have the internal ID. So internal ID is always going to be embedded for all of your templates. So you do not need to search for the internal ID when you build a template. The created from is important for item fulfillment because that field is referencing the sales order number. So you do need to make sure you add the sales order number to the created from field. The ship status is going to be the pick, packed, and ship status. So that's a pick list that you can actually adjust. So you want to make sure that you have the ship status field there. And then coming down to the item level or the item sublist, we have the order line. So the order line is important because that is in reference to the line ID numbers for the items within the sales order. The item received field is going to be a true false field. So you want to make sure you mark it as true if you want to fulfill it for the particular item or items. And then at the bottom, we have the standard fields, which is item, quantity, and location. So now if we go even further, there's going to be the inventory detail level, which will have the inventory assignment list sublist. And that will include the internal ID. And like the internal ID field before, this will be auto embedded when you add in the issue inventory number and also the quantity. So now that we have all the relevant fields that we would need to build a item fulfillment template, I'm going to select continue, click on yes. It's going to load it onto my worksheet. So once it's loaded, you do also have an option to name the template and add in some description of what this template entails. So once I'm ready, I'm going to select save and enter data. And as you can see, the template has been saved successfully onto my CloudExtend session. So now moving forward, if I ever want to load this template onto a brand new tab, I can go into my list and load the template onto a brand new tab or a brand new workbook. So now that we have our item fulfillment template created and loaded onto a worksheet, let's go into the sales order tab here that I have loaded. So this sales order tab is actually, it does have the sales order template as you can see. And we're going to use a filter or a download to actually download the relevant sales order that I want to fulfill. So in this case, if I were to go into reload records and download again, there's this option where it says apply filter. So if I select this, it's going to give me an option to either use a local rule. So that's a rule that I can set within my CloudExtend session. Or if you already have an existing save search inside of NetSuite, you can use that criteria off of that save search basically to use it to download the results that you would need onto the CloudExtend template. But for this demo, I'm going to use the rule locally. And for the first rule, I'm going to search for Tran ID. And that's going to be the sales order number that I'm using to search for and download. And the transaction ID number is, let me copy this and plug it into the value field. And once I have that entered into the value field, I'm going to select save and I'm going to select this option. So you do have an option to edit the filter, but in this case, I'm just going to select this, click on save, and then I'm going to apply using this filter and doing a download with that filter. So once I have that filter embedded into the template and into the session, you can see that it downloaded my sales order pretty quickly. And it also downloaded all of the relevant information based off of the CloudExtend sales order template. So I have the internal ID. I also have the transaction ID, which will come in handy when I perform my item fulfillment. And then there's the line ID numbers. So that's going to be used when it comes to the order line. And it has the items and also the quantity. So now that I have all of this information, if I go into my item fulfillment template, I'm going to start filling out all of these columns here. And after I fill out all of the details within this item fulfillment template, I'm going to go and upload it back into NetSuite. So for demo purposes, I already have this information already set. So I'm going to just copy and paste it into the template. All right, so I have all the information that I need for the item fulfillment to be ready to be uploaded. But before I do that, I just want to kind of walk you through on what I filled out. So as you can see, the created from is going to be that sales order number that we downloaded on the sales order tab. The ship status is going to be shipped. So automatically when we do fulfill this will change the status of the sales order from pending fulfillment to pending billing. And then the order line is going to be the line ID, like I mentioned, from the sales order template. So we'll need that information to be populated into order line. The item received is true. And then when it comes to the item, we populated the items that we would want to fulfill. And then after that is going to be the quantity, the location. And then when it comes to the serial numbers, these are the serial numbers that you already have in your system. So if I say, for instance, if I want to search for it via the pick list, you can see that it's available in my cell operation pick list right here. So if I go into this other next serial number that I want to associate it to the items, once it populates, I can select it and it will validate and embed itself with the internal ID. So next is going to be the quantity. So this quantity right here just needs to match the quantity total of column H right here in this quantity field. So as long as all of this information is ready to go and filled out, I can actually go into the upload tab or the upload button. And once I click on upload to NetSuite, it gives me an option to select upload records. And in just a sec, you're going to see that it's going to read the full table. So once it reads the full table from cell A3 to L12, once it's ready to upload into NetSuite, it's going to return an internal ID in column B right here. And once it returns the internal ID, that means the upload has been successful and uploaded back into NetSuite. All right, so now that we have the internal ID populated in column B right here, you can see that there is a warning message. So this is a standard warning message, which is a good thing to kind of show you. So if there is a option where the warning lets you know that it's fulfilling uncommitted items, and this may cause an item on the order to be decommitted. So this is a pretty standard warning message to show you so that if anything, if it's a warning message, it's going to come back in yellow. And if it's an error message from NetSuite, it's going to come back in red, and it will let you know what you'll need to correct in order for you to upload successfully into NetSuite. All right, so now the internal ID has generated. I'm gonna go into that sales order and refresh it to see if the status has been updated to pending billing. All right, so now that we're in NetSuite, we're gonna refresh this page. And once we refresh this, the status should be updated from pending fulfillment, and it's going to be updated to pending billing, as you can see right here. And once it's updated to pending billing, we're going to go to history, go to fulfillment and invoices. And this is going to be that brand new item fulfillment that I just created. So if I drill down into it by clicking on it, it's going to allow me to open it, and essentially it'll give me the information that I uploaded from CloudExtend. So the created from is referencing the correct sales order. The status is shipped. The items are going to be all here. And then if I drill down into the inventory detail, you can see that the serial number that I have uploaded with CloudExtend has been successfully uploaded for this particular item inside of NetSuite. And if I want to dive in further when it comes to system notes, if I go into system information, you can see that there's system notes, and the system notes will let you know who uploaded the transaction. and also under what context. So in this case, it's going to be SOAP web services, and what type of operation would it would be. So in this case, it would be a creation of a brand new record, and it's going to set all of these fields with a brand new value that we have uploaded through CloudExtend. This concludes our video on how to use CloudExtend when uploading item fulfillments with serial or lot numbers. If you need further support, please visit our support site at support.cloudextend.io.